Good afternoon for KXLY Plus. I'm Rob King. Very exciting as I am going to be speaking with the conductor of the Harry Potter film concert series coming to Spokane next month. His name is Justin Freer, and he's right here. Justin, thanks for joining me for a quick chat. How you doing?
Very well, sir. Afternoon. Thank you.
Justin is the CEO of CineConcerts and, like I said, the conductor of the Harry Potter film concert series, which is coming to the First Interstate Center of the Arts in Spokane May 5th and 6th. Justin, let's get started. Let's just talk about what CineConcerts is.
Well, I guess it really kind of was born of the idea of my particular passion and love for the art form of film and music kind of colliding together. I think it's a beautiful art form that in some ways is inexplicable. I mean, if music is done the right thing for the right film, it makes us move and feel and think and dance in ways that are difficult sometimes to put into words. So being able to celebrate this art form in this format, potentially, in its purest format, which is to say all of the music on stage in person for you to be able to hear in real time with the entire film, ironically, is something that they did 100 years ago during the silent film era with, an organist or a trio or a quartet. And now here we are with, an 85-piece orchestra doing the same. So it's great fun.
Absolutely. Now, what is it about, you kind of touched on this, but what's the emotional or artistic value of having a live orchestra versus a typical tracked score?
Well, I think the first obvious thing that it does in a large venue is put you in a space with thousands of other people. It becomes a shared experience. And that for me is one of the driving factors that makes these so fun and exciting wherever we take this around the world. And those reactions from those crowds are different. In some cases, some scenes, the reactions are the same no matter where we go. But there's definitely a cultural kind of shift depending on where you are, depending on the scene. But from a musical perspective, it allows folks to really feel the visceral power of what music does for a scene. And my favorite part of all of this is children, sometimes, many times, making for the first time in their life the connection that perhaps the reason they're scared of Voldemort is because of the bass trombone.
Yeah.
Perhaps they had this fanciful sense of flight with Hedwig because of the celesta, John's brilliant Hedwig's theme. So that connection for me is a beautiful one to experience.
Now, some of the previous shows that CineConcerts has done include The Godfather, Elf, Rudy, who was, which, as you know, is scored by one of your mentors. So what's been kind of your favorite of all these shows?
Well, you mentioned Rudy, and because of Jerry Goldsmith, that one is particularly very special for me on the podium. It's a difficult one for me to get through because of my connection with Jerry and just how powerful that score is for that particular film. But each of these projects bring an incredible adventure and set of challenges that even if, in the case of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which we're bringing, as you said, just in a few weeks to Spokane, I don't even know how many times I've done that on the road now globally. It's a lot. And I only say that because every single time I do it, it's like doing it again for the first time. And it's a beautiful rebirth of challenges with each new orchestra in each new city. And the music's incredible. So it's a great journey to partake on. And, it's exciting no matter where we are.
Got it. Now, when you're on stage, you're conducting something just grandiose like Lord of the Rings. Do you ever find yourself getting distracted, like during the ride of the Rohirrim?
If I'm getting distracted, two things are happening. One, I'm not doing my job, and two, the movie's more powerful than I had anticipated at that moment. Sure. There are distractions, and that's part of the challenge is staying, hyper focused through all this because we don't have the luxury of being early or late to a cut or early or late to a scene. I mean, if I'm 2 seconds early to, Hedwig taking off and John's music starts before you see Hedwig, there's a problem.
Yeah.
So, we don't have the luxury of choosing where the form goes. It has to be very accurate to the frame. And so there are distractions on stage, the sound of the audience, something might happen in the orchestra that you have to rebalance, technical problems. There's a lot of things in real time you need to solve.
I am familiar with technical problems, don't worry. Now, with your background and training in classical music, what, in your opinion, separates John Williams as a mainstream composer that even a layperson like myself can hear and recognize a John Williams score?
I think there's a lot behind his genius, and one of them, as practical as this might sound, maybe an esoteric answer to some degree, is his continuing search for being better and trying to make things better the next time and searching for that. And that is, he said that publicly. I don't feel like I'm speaking on his behalf. He said that a number of times, and I think that is one of the things that keeps him the best in his craft. But he does have just an incredible knowledge base of history, and he's a chameleon. He understands so many styles and sounds. He's a great student of music, and he's also an incredible performing musician himself. So he's been on the other side. He knows what players can do. He knows how to communicate to the players. But I think he also spends a great deal of time with his melodies. And I think that perhaps melody is one of the most efficient vehicles that we have in our tool belt, particularly in film, to very quickly reach the listener or the viewer, the masses, to connect with them emotionally. There's a lot of other tools, and color and sound and volume and rhythm and speed and all these things in harmony, but his melodies are just incredible. But I love so much that he is constantly searching to be better, and he's the best among us.
And I think he just recently announced that he would be taking a step back at 90 years old from scoring films. But let's see, if you were a betting man, are you putting your money on John Williams really stopping?
I think that he is much like a shark, and I mean that in the best of ways. He has to keep swimming, and he's going to do that in a number of different ways, I'm sure. And music is a part of his soul. You can hear it. And whether or not we get to enjoy him on the podium conducting as often in the next 2 years as we did in the previous is yet to be determined. But I think that he will always be contributing to the field of music throughout the world as long as he's physically able. And I can't wait for what's to come, because there's always more to come from him. And it might not be another Spielberg score in the next 6 months, but well, I guess the Spielberg connection to Indiana Jones 5.
True.
But, although he's not directing that one, but John is he's a tour de force.
And before you're the CEO of CineConcerts, before the company was doing the show, were you a Harry Potter fan?
I was. I'm a much different fan now than I was 7 years ago when we embarked on trying to make this a reality. And I think I'm a different fan because I've found appreciation and a great deal of nuance over the years, because we've had to pay attention to it to build these projects and to share them, over and over and over, and fine tune them and always make them as good as we can. I admittly had not made it through all of the books when the movies came out.
Be careful who you tell that to.
I know, but only the first four, but I had seen all the movies, of course, before we embarked on this adventure, and since made it through the entire book series. But there's so much. You can watch these movies over and over, hear the scores over and over, and you see something different, you hear something different.
Now, is it going to be, there's 8 films in the series, you're bringing the first one May 5th and 6th to Spokane. Is it going to be an 8-film commitment coming to Spokane?
I sure hope so. We're always striving to bring the entire franchise when we launch the beginning of it. So this adventure that's the intention, is to bring the adventure and bring this life from these 8 movies. And it's amazing to be in one city and do number 8, and then all of a sudden pivot back 3 weeks later to number 1. And of all the things that stick out the most, it's the stark differences in the age of the children that are acting. And it's a lot of fun.
And then you can also kind of maybe see from the first film to the 8th film how some of the characters' musical themes have sort of progressed and grown with them.
Yes, you're right. That's a really fun and perfect observation, and a lot of that is due to, of course, the characters on screen evolving as they've gotten older, the stories evolving just naturally because that's the way that they're programmed to evolve, but also the composers. There are a number of different composers on this. John on the first three, John Williams, and then we have the number four, the great Patrick Doyle, and then excuse me, the next couple of films we have another musician that comes in as much more of a guitar background, and a Nick Hooper, and then we finish it off with Alexandre Desplat. So there's a lot of really great voices that kind of come to this. So there's a number of variables that help the music to evolve, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, this next question is a little more niche. As a fellow Orange County native, where, in your opinion, does Segerstrom rank on some of the top venues in the country?
Wow. The new Segerstrom or the Performing Arts Center, the Symphony Hall?
The Symphony Hall, yes.
I think it is one of the best new symphony halls built in North America in the last 20 years.
Awesome.
The acoustics are amazing. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Orange, so
From
city
Orange.
in the county.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I know it well. I love it. The acoustics are incredible there. They really, really are, and it's great fun working with the Pacific Symphony out there, and I mean, Orange County, it's a great place.
Yeah, I think I got to see Westminster's chorus there once, and that was a treat. So another more fun question: will your baton be a wand?
I wish it could be. Those wands are so perfectly replicated that they're too heavy to use to conduct. So I actually, for most of my life, used a baton, as most conductors did. And funny, just quick story, it broke one day on the road finally after 19...
During a show?
Before the rehearsal. It was 19 years the same baton.
Wow.
Didn't have a backup. I've never had a backup. So I just, conducted with my hands that weekend, and I haven't gone back. I have not put a baton in my hands since, and I love not having one.
Awesome. Well, I guess that also goes with Harry Potter. They also can do some wandless magic as well, so I think you're safe there. Well, Justin, thanks for hopping on with me. Is there anything else you want to add?
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's, I hope people come out to really see this. It's very much a see it to believe it experience, and it's not something that you can replicate at home or in a movie theater. You got to be there.
Absolutely. I was excited when it got announced. I actually bought my own tickets already.
Well, come by, say hello. Love to chat after or before.
I will. I told my wife, I was like, we're going to this. I see it's coming. I've always wanted to go to one of these, CineConcerts performances, and it seems like a great opportunity.
Well,
tickets.
Hope to see you there.
Thank you. I'll look for you. Well, you'll be front and center, so I guess I'll have to see you. Tickets are still available for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in concert at the First Interstate Center for the Arts, Friday, May 5th and Saturday, May 6th. You can purchase those tickets at ticketwest.com. Conductor of the series, Justin Freer, thank you for hopping on.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
And like I said, you can purchase those tickets on ticketswest.com. If you missed the full interview, it will be up on kxly Plus, which you can download on your connected TVs. That's Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or the 4 News Now mobile app on your phone. So thank you again, Justin Freer, for joining me. Thank you for joining me as well. And live in studio, I'm Rob King for kxly+.